Seatbelts are meant to protect us in car crashes, but for some drivers, they can be harmful. Drivers aged 85 and older are 9 times more likely per mile driven to be hurt in a crash. Chest injuries are most common, and they are linked to the seatbelt. Only on CBS This Morning, Kris Van Cleave shows us how researchers at Ohio State University are learning why one-size seatbelts don't fit all. Kris, good morning.
Good morning. Seatbelts are credited with saving 14,000 lives last year, but these seatbelts are designed for your average 40-year-old male. So the amount of force it takes to keep an average 40-year-old male in place, that could actually be enough force to injure a smaller or older driver.
I remember sitting there and my body was just flipping back and forth.
Pam Sohn ended up in a neck brace after a Jeep backed into her car. Her seatbelt kept her in the seat, but researchers believe it may have contributed to her concussion and back injuries.
Probably would have went through the window or something the way I was moving around had I not had it on, but yeah, didn't do what I thought it would.
The seatbelt Pam and the rest of us use wasn't designed for the 60-year-old's 5'4" frame. Professor John Bolte would like to see that change.
If a car can drive today without a person controlling it, why can't we have a safety system that could respond to better save someone?
Bolte is using crash tests like this to study the amount of force needed to protect those with more fragile frames, like smaller and older drivers. The goal is to have seatbelts that one day automatically adjust to the person they're protecting. It's
going to take a lot more force to stop me from going into the steering wheel than it would a grandfather or grandmother. And so that force against my thorax, is not going to cause rib fractures in me potentially, but it is perhaps too much force for someone that's a little bit older.
Crash tests show how seatbelts save lives. The driver at the top of your screen without a belt is launched forward. But when it comes to older drivers in particular, seatbelts are also blamed for a higher rate of potentially serious, even deadly chest injuries, as older drivers tend to be more easily injured in a crash. Already, 43 million U.S. drivers are over 65. That's nearly 1 in every 5 drivers. Their ranks are expected to swell by 77% by 2045.
Seatbelts do their job, and they do their job very well. Let's raise the bar higher. My job is to try to improve safety such that no one is being injured.
To be clear, researchers say everyone, regardless of age or size, should wear their seatbelt when they're in a car. But there are some things you can do. Seatbelts are adjustable, so you want to lower it down so the seatbelt rests on your clavicle here. This is much stronger than your ribs. The other thing, make sure you have 10 to 12 inches between you and the airbag in front of you. Jeff?
Kris Van Cleave, thank you very much, Kris. And not just the seatbelt, make sure the car seat, their kids are in the right place.
Yeah.
With that story.
That's the story we had earlier.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was there, but they didn't have it secured properly. Well, they are complicated, some of those cars.
They are.
They are.